In this installment of Hotspot Businesses, we are looking at some statistics. It's important to find out what your business is doing, if you're making money or if you are incurring losses. Basically, it is for you to find out if you're making any progress. So throughout the period, I gathered this data, and we shall look at various aspects of the data so that we see what is happening with the business, the use of the platform, and we make some major decisions along the way. So let's get started. Now, I just picked a few of these which we'll look at. There are others, but this is what I thought would be useful for us to look at right now. There are monthly transactions, earnings per month, the most performing profiles, and then time usage statistics. Now, if we start with monthly transactions, you can see there. First of all, I cut them in 2 years. There's 2025 and then 2026. You can see the beginning of April has 52 transactions, and then there's a trend line taking from there to 113 on to all the way 701, and then 655, and then 658 and 533 a bit. So around from the beginning here, why it's 52, I had only one AP, one access point, and I kept adding them, and by around here, around August, September to October, I think I had expanded them to about 6. Okay, right now they are 6. But this 700,000 came because I used an agent. I picked one agent and gave her the vouchers to sell. Now, I had the challenge of selling the vouchers. People would have to come to my place to pick the vouchers, which became very cumbersome. We also had the challenge of selling them. I had the challenge of selling them when I was not there around the premises. So I had to find a solution. So to do that, I had to pick an agent. I picked an agent, and this 701 you see is the reason why. We shall also look at later why something that supports this 701. But from then on, you see 701, 655, and then 658 through November, December, then Jan 2026. The performance is relatively the same. This is 533 in Feb, because as of making this video, the month was not over, the month of Feb. So we're still making. Now, this is the trend line you can see from April 2025 all the way to Feb 2026. I'm expecting when you also start yours, it will be like this, a little bit like this. You're not going to have 600 users or 600 transactions hitting your business. You first start here a few, depending also on the number of points that you put. So the more points you put, the more people you reach. When you look at earnings per month, it's a bit it's similar to the other trend that we saw before. This is around April, still 56. That's now 56. There are 56 transactions here. This is April, all the way to 557,000. I told you this is the time this is the time the agent was introduced. 557,000 for this month, the highest. 557. November, this is when there were 6 access points. Yeah, that's it. You can see the rise. And once again, it also depends for your business, the number of access points you will put, how you will deploy those vouchers, who will sell them, and your availability. Now, just to give you the background, this hotspot is operated within a residential area. So we shall look at, that takes us to time usage here. Time usage statistics. Let's see. This one it shows you the time when people used the hotspot the most. You can see. So it captures the time from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. That stops at 11 p.m. And you can see. Let's see. This is, let me remove that. This is total point of 8 p.m. Most people use or log on or connect at 8 p.m. But this is reasonable. This is understandable because the place is a residential area. This is the time when most people come home from work and want to log on and check the internet, check out TikTok, WhatsApp, correspond with their friends, and basically just access the net. No. Similarly, you can see some traffic here around 7 p.m. 441, 422. Now these are figures for the whole period from April 2025 to Feb 2026. These are the figures. So I estimate around 4. You see, there's a lot of activity. Most activities in the afternoon hours. There's barely anything. These are nighters. These are nighters. These ones are the ones who go through the night. There are very few. Which means the network is there's nothing happening. Which means I could develop a product from which I could get users here. Maybe if we need someone needs to download a heavy file, there's a lot of redundancy here on the network between midnight and 6 a.m. We can get a night bundle and sell that so that people in this bracket can utilize this bandwidth. Because there's nobody, there are very few here. How many are these? These ones are 7. You can see another 4 there. Another. And this is throughout all the way from April. Only 4 people in a whole year. Just above a year. Just in a year, rather. That's what you get. So this is redundancy. I can feel that with a product. And some people start downloading some files in this time and I get some money for that. So the trend is from 7 a.m. There are some people in the morning, 8, 9, but afternoon time is when I see a lot of activity from midday all the way to 8 p.m. 9, you can see it starts reducing. People go to sleep. This is a residential area. If it was in a town area, you'd see a lot of activity, maybe around here in the 6, maybe 7, going all the way, and then at 5 it falls down and goes to 0 because people have left their places of work and gone home. But this is the reverse. Now moving on to most performing profiles. Most performing profiles shows who brings in money, which product brings in money, and I cut them into. I have different profiles which bring money. For this 24 hours, this is 24 hours is 1,000 shillings for 24 hours, 500 shillings for 3 hours. This one is the point which I started in November. You can imagine November, but it's already made that 469,000. Then this monthly is 175,000. There are those who come and buy per month. There are few of them, but they come and buy. Now this 0.103 and is also the one I started with the agent. These two, 124 and then 123. They are similar to 0.124 is similar to this 24 hours, same price. Then 0.103 is similar to this one, 3 hours. But you can see this is good performance. Then there are those who come and buy for the week. Yeah. These are free. These ones are free. I don't charge them. I use them for different purposes. But this is the performance. So you can see that most people buy the 24-hour version or the 24-hour option because this is a residential place. So someone would rather buy 24 hours and then use that. Now the value in the 24-hour is, remember, this is for 1,000 shillings you can browse the internet for 24 hours, which is good value. You can buy right now, use it through all the way to 24 hours, and then you'll be able to access the internet. Now, how does this translate to your business, or what does it mean? It means when you start a hotspot business, it is very good to know your data, to get the data on what is happening in your business, and then you'll be able to make some decisions. For example, this one where I saw some redundancy in time, I can give it to people who download heavy files. There will not be so many, but they will be able to download their files. I'll still make money while sleeping. Monthly transactions, this one just shows you appreciate how the business starts, the relationship between the number of APs you have or access points and the number of customers you get, and then also the value of using other people to sell your vouchers, of course for consideration or in exchange for commission. You give them commission. That's been an overview of how I use my data. So when you start your business, just make sure, this data comes from Micmon. We have looked at it in this video. You'll check, if you want to know how Micmon works, there is the report. You'll check it right here in this video on how to use the report to generate the data. This is the data that you get. It's an Excel file. And then you just use pivot tables to get all these values, but all this is from the same data. So the next time we'll look at finances to check if about the same period, we'll look at finances to see the business. You'll see the balance sheet. We shall look at the income statement. We shall look at the balance sheet. We shall look at the balance sheet, the income statement, and other accounting variables so that we'll know if the business has broken even or not. See you then, and have a great time.